What's going on, people? It is Irish Gunner HD here. You can call me Irish, and today I am joined by Beatrice from Heartless Cosplay. Hello, Beatrice.
Hi.
So, Beatrice is a cosplaying girl, and is there a professional word for that exactly?
Just cosplayer, I think is
Cosplay.
the term.
Okay. Yeah. So, like, we're friends for what's it, like 3 years now, since like 2011. We went to college
Yeah.
together. And I've been following Beatrice's like cosplay and stuff like that, and it's always been a thing that I've had an interest in, but like not to like a crazy extent. But like I see stuff and it's cool, and I appreciate it. And knowing somebody that's into it and that does it, it's really awesome to be able to pick her brain a little bit. So I have a couple of questions lined up, should I say? And we're just gonna shoot through them and get Beatrice's opinion on different things. So to get started, how did you get into cosplaying? We're gonna need to see your nerd credentials. Make sure you're not one of these posy babes who just dresses up with like a
Oh,
GameCube, like a Nintendo controller or whatever like that, just
I don't
for.
think I ever even had a GameCube. No, I got into cosplay like back in 2007, I think.
That long.
Yeah, a long time ago because one of my friends wanted to work at one of them selling her artwork.
Mm.
And then she was like, oh, we should just kind of dress up as well. And I'd been reading manga for a while, so it's like, okay, I'll give this a go. And I dressed up as a really bad version of Misa Misa from Death Note.
That
And
was actually a question that I didn't have on the list, but it just occurred to me. So that was your first one. That was the first cosplay you put together.
yeah, that was my first one.
It's,
So bad.
I don't know the one that you're talking about. I've heard of Death Note. Is that was called.
Death Note, yeah.
I've heard of it, but I don't know the exact one you're talking about. So that's kind of cool. And so it was just like randomly your friend was doing art and was just like, hey, we should
Yeah.
dress up as that.
She was dressed up as a Shinigami, which is like a death god. And she was like wrapped up in like tissue and like bandages and it was crazy. We were so bad. We looked so bad.
Oh, that's a
So
cool thing about cosplaying, though. It's never about the level that you get to or whatever. That it's just the participation. Like everyone appreciates the kind
oh yeah, like people were so nice coming up just, oh, it looks amazing. I'm like, sure it does.
of. You're just being nice, but I'll take it anyway.
Exactly.
So that's how you got into it. So what cosplays have you done so far? And I will put up photos in like edit and stuff like that. Like you can
Thank
send me them if you want. But
you.
like the actual ones, I know you've like toyed with stuff here and there, but like what would be the ones that you would have actually like be
Well,
proud to
my
show off? Or
main ones would be Baby Doll from Sucker Punch, Jack Darling from Lollipop Chainsaw.
mm,
I've done Injustice Harley Quinn, and I think those are them. Oh, Ayla the Huntress from Skyrim. That was my most recent one.
that was the most recent one. That was awesome. You didn't. It's not an official cosplay, but you have like a really cool Adventure Time outfit thing.
Oh yeah, I did Fiona from Fiona and Cake, the
I
alternate.
don't know Adventure Time again. I'm not super into it, but like I know I can recognize them when I see them. And you did. It wasn't a cosplay, but like it was. You had an outfit that looked like the thing, so that was kind of
Yeah,
cool
I
as well.
just kind of was like, it's comfortable. I think this will do.
Just chuck the hat on, you're good to go. A hat
Yeah.
and a blue t-shirt, good to go.
Sweated holes into that though at the convention because it was so hot and like there was no actually no there was like air conditioning but it was so hot it was just blowing hot air throughout the whole place and we were roasting during the summer.
That's the one thing that people always say about cosplay, like especially whatever about like wearing it around that or like a photo shoots or whatever like that. But like when you actually go to the conventions, they are supposed to be like unhuman, like heat wise.
Oh yeah.
Like no matter what your cosplay is, if you're wearing any amount of layers and you're walking around in one of those big halls where there's like thousands of other people and it's supposed to be unbearable. Like some
Yeah.
things like I was saying to you before we start recording, your man with the Zoidberg cosplay thing. Like the guy came out and he'd lost like 10 pounds in weight by the end of the thing, just from wearing the big Zoidberg. Because he had like a wire frame for like the belly shape and all that. Like he was wearing this big outfit thing, and like I would assume that I would assume that wearing just like a t-shirt and a hat is probably like the most comfortable that you can probably get and
Oh
still
yeah.
consider yourself cosplaying.
You have
So-
to have breaks throughout the day. Like you just need to
Oh
take
yeah.
moments to yourself so you're like, okay, now I can relax and just vegetate. You can see the makeup melting off me or the like I don't know, face paint.
Cool. So what would you be out of all them ones then? What would be the favorite one that you've done? Do you think?
I think my favorite one would be Ayla the Huntress so far because I put a lot more work into her and I feel like I made most of that costume because it
Mm.
was mostly armor.
Yeah.
So that was fun to do, even though it was quite stressful because I got everything done at the last minute.
How long does it take to, like, how long can it take, or how long does it usually take, depending on the thing? I'm sure it's all dependent on, like, how into it you're going or whatever. But, like, how
Yeah.
long does it usually take to, like, to pull something together? I know, I can remember when you first mentioned the Ayla thing on Facebook, and, like, you only just actually, like, wore it out into a con when you went to England, wasn't it, recently?
Yeah, I went to MCM London.
Yeah, and that was recently. And I remember, like, it's been about a year, I want to say, but, like, how long exactly, you would know better than I would. Like, how long does it usually take? For Ayla in particular, we'll start off with that.
Oh, well, I started Ayla off when I was in college the start of the year, and I gotten her pauldrons done.
Mm.
They're
Which, for
actually
people that
quite
don't know, are like the shoulder blade things.
shoulder armor,
Yeah.
yeah. And I got those done, and I was kind of like, oh, you know, I'll get the rest of it done soon. Like, it's ages away till, like, the con and the photo shoot that I was supposed to have them ready for. It's like, it'll be grand, and then turned out, like, just doing it all, like, the last minute, like,
Time flies.
yeah, like, the 2 nights before I was doing it. I think I spent about 20 hours on everything besides the pauldrons, possibly more,
That's nuts.
because I did everything. I pulled so many all-nighters, I was, like, in bits.
And, like, I don't think I wrote that, but, like, what goes into it, basically? For something like Ayla, you have to get the wig, the makeup are probably the easiest parts, air quotes.
Yeah, makeup would be like the easiest. I think the one thing that kind of annoys me with costumes is like you have to order your wigs online and your contacts, and I have brown eyes, so like if the contacts don't come out,
Yeah.
I have to wait another
And
2
you've
weeks to
really
order.
brown eyes as well. Like, I noticed that from, like I'm looking at you now, and, like, your eyes are really, really, like it's almost like your entire pupil is just black. Like, you've really dark eyes. How do you pull off, like,
You
the
have to
really
get, well,
bright things?
for really dark eyes, you have to get like the zombie contacts. That's what I use. I use like the ones I have are called creature contacts for Ayla.
Yeah.
They're like proper green. They're zombie contacts, and this is the only thing that'll come up in my eyes.
That's like that's a level of dedication I don't think I could get to, for even if I was to ever try cosplay.
Oh, I
Like,
love them so
contacts.
much. I wish they were my actual eye color, even if they are crazy.
Are they the ones that are in your profile photo?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
they're
I was gonna
actually a
say
lot brighter than that, though. You should
Yeah.
see them in daylight. It's insane.
that's so 20 plus hours for Ayla, and then for something like. One thing that I was actually really impressed that you did was the, even though I know nothing about it, I could just see the amount of work that went into it, was the chainsaw from the Lollipop Chainsaw Girl.
Oh,
Like,
for
how
the
long that would have
chainsaw,
taken?
that wasn't my prop. That was made by my cousin,
No.
who does woodwork, because I tried to make that out of cardboard, and it was kind of a fail. It was my first kind of real prop attempt,
Yeah.
and it was just a disaster. So I was like, I really want this to look good. I'll probably make it at a later stage out of Warbler, but right now it does the job.
Because I was looking at it and I was like, I couldn't tell what material it was made of, because it was like, it looks really solid and it doesn't look flimsy,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like all
Did
well
an
painted and stuff like
amazing
that.
job.
So that's all wood, like.
I had to order the handles for it online. Like I had to go through eBay and get like the proper handles. Like everything had to be the exact same shape for the chainsaw. And then I had to get bike chain to make it look like the edging.
Sorry about that, folks. Specifically told people not to come in, and my dad just walked in. So we'll get back into it. So that was, yeah, you were saying, so you had to, like, order specific parts and, like, just the handle?
The two handles, and I had to get bike chain
Bike chain.
for the edging to make it look like it was actual saw.
Yeah, that's my bad. As you were talking and explaining that, I was like bickering behind me to get the person out, so I didn't catch the end there. So yeah, like, and how long would you say that took overall to put together?
Well, he was insane. He did it in like a week. That he put it all together in the end using
So you
wood
got like
glue.
the base, and then he gave like the base to you, and you just had to like
Yeah, I
attach
just
the.
like drew out a template because like I wanted it like specific lengths and blah blah. So I just gave him to him like that, and he knew nothing of costume. Like, and I gave him these pictures, he was like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing next door? Are you crazy?" But that was handy though. He lived next door to me. It was grand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Right. I think that would be, and like for the outfit for something like that, like was that like put together yourself, or is that like a store bought?
No, that was my boyfriend's mother who is teaching me how to sew at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah, because I do sew, but it's very basic. So I want to actually get her to show me like more detailed dressmaking,
Cool.
that sort of stuff.
I think that would be that one. So next up, I moved this one down actually. I remember I said I moved the question. So this one would be, who do you like look up to, or like whose level do you aspire to get to, or whatever? Like, do you
Oh,
want to be like internet famous, or do you like just like doing your own thing and doing things at your own pace or whatever?
I like doing things at my own pace. Like I do like look up to like obviously like Jessica Negri and people like that. I do think it's just more personality wise, but like the level I want to get to in like prop making wise, because like I want to get my new hammer anyway that I'm making for Harley. I want it to look very realistic.
Yeah.
So like people I look up to for things like that are like Vulpin Props and Brian's Prop Shop, like those people who
Are
are they are proper prop makers.
are they local or?
Well, my friend
I don't
Brian
recognise the
is
name. So.
from my friend Brian is from Dublin, and he makes like a lot of costume props and Predator suits, and his Ironhide suit is amazing.
Yeah.
But Vulpin Props isn't. I think he's American, and like some of his stuff is just insane. Like his, I think it's Nightingale bows and things like that. Like his Skyrim stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
So that would be prop making. Whose level? So you would say like Jessica Negri kind of.
Negri. Yeah.
Negri. I don't know how to pronounce that name. It's such an
Oh yeah. Well,
unusual name.
in terms of like, I want to be that kind of cosplayer. I don't want to be like.
But like,
stuck
do you know the
up-
way? Like, I think that like that will lead into one of the next questions. But like, do you know the way she's like huge? Like, would you want to be and like have that level of attention, or like would you?
No,
Like, no,
I don't
'cause-
think I could take that.
like me, like that was me. I was like, I couldn't possibly.
No,
No.
I'd be afraid.
Too scary.
Yes.
Um,
I don't take criticism like like oh it's so bad at taking criticism unless it's like very constructive. Then I'm like okay I can see your point, but then it's sort of like oh do you hate me? Do you hate my stuff?
luckily enough, though, like I was actually just like I was browsing through your Heartless page before we came on just to see if there was anything I was missing or whatever, and I was like, you don't get any negative criticism on the page at least. Like, have you gotten any like really bad like somebody being like a pure like dickhead?
No, I haven't had anyone just yet. Thankfully, I haven't even had really that many sly digs at all. Everyone's been really nice so far. The cosplay community is amazing. They're not that vicious. I think sometimes they're played out to be like by big cosplayers.
It's like it's like I was saying earlier on. Like, it's just like everyone appreciates everyone's effort. Like, Jonathan, sorry, folks. Once again, apparently can't get any peace and quiet in this house. So yeah, so we completely forgot where we left off because I was distracted for quite a bit there. So we'll just leave that there because I think we were heading towards basically answering a question that's coming in the future. And anyway, so for something more serious, then I've seen like you're very big on kind of cosplay does not mean yes, like it's not consent or whatever. On your Facebook and your Tumblr and stuff like that. How do you think like cosplay and like the girls in the scene and stuff like that are like viewed in particular? And like at con specifically, like are people more forward because you're actually there in person and they're like ooh boobies or whatever, or like would they be more understanding?
It depends on the convention really. Like Irish cons aren't like that big like in comparison to the American cons. So I think over there it's a lot worse, but over here it's not too bad, but you still get like the odd person that will creep on you and like I've been followed.
I was gonna say, to what extent is it like a guy like catching a glimpse, or like somebody like you'll follow like be following you from like stand to stand or whatever like that? Like
well, I don't mind like people like oogling you, like if you're in a revealing costume, you know, you kind of expect it a bit, but like it's kind of when if you're talking to someone and they're just talking to your boobs. Then it's a bit much. Like I can understand if you're glimpsing kind of.
Yeah, like have some class, man. Like cleavage is like the sun. You catch a glimpse every now and again, but you don't stare.
Exactly.
Like nothing good
like
comes from staring.
Courtesy.
Yeah.
But like I think the one time that was a bit uncomfortable was when I was followed at one convention. I'm not going to mention the convention because they're awesome, so they are, and I don't really want to bring it into this. But it
wasn't their fault that there happened to be a giant creep boy.
Huh?
It wasn't their fault that there happened to be like a giant creep.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't. It was just one guy in particular kind of followed me around for a good while, kind of with his phone out, very low down. I was in a revealing costume though, so it was kind of like maybe he'll go away, but he really didn't. And I had to get my boyfriend to kind of say, you know, can you stop, please? It's getting a bit uncomfortable.
You say he did phone out and down low.
Like yeah, it was kind of like because I was in do you know Injustice Harley Quinn?
Yeah.
So she's very revealing, like it's almost underwear that you're wearing. So Yeah, it
That
wasn't
like
too
that
cool.
I don't know. Like for me, that's kind of thing that like not put me off. Like I'm not saying that you should like stop doing it like that, but like it's one of them things where it's like, dude, why do people have to be so fucking creepy all the time?
Oh, I know.
Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think was that yeah that was the second half of the question thing. But like, is that like a big deal though? Like, is that a big? Because I see you talking about it, and I'm always like, it can't be like people can't be that dumb to think that because a girl is wearing a costume that she's like, hey, you can come like feel me up or like whatever.
Oh,
Is that actually like a big thing?
well, it's more like it doesn't really. Well, I haven't seen it too much in the Irish cons, but when I did come home from MCM, I had a friend who she's very busty in general
Yeah.
and like very busty, and it did show up in the costume
Alright.
because the costume was also kind of revealing. It
Because
was
for some reason, armor is always super protective everywhere except for here. Do you ever notice that? It's like just
Oh
like
yeah.
right where your heart coincidentally happens to be beside your cleavage. Armor is always super lacking there, so it's really
Well, the
not.
boobs, they distract you from seeing that. So you're
Oh, of
like, oh no,
course.
I don't want to do that. I
Yeah,
don't want to kill her. Look at that.
that's true. So
No,
yeah,
but like
what happened? What happened with her?
with the at the convention when we got home, someone had posted her picture and they were very like, you know, nice about it. They're like, oh, she looks great. You can see all the hard work she put in. And she did. She put in like hours on the bus on the way over, which was like 12 hours from here to London.
Hmm.
And the comments that some people were kind of saying was like, oh, she's just doing it for attention and
Yeah.
same old, same old. I was like, why do you instantly assume that? Like,
That's people though. We were saying before we start recording, people on the internet are dickheads, particularly when they can be anonymous. But like
oh
usually,
yeah,
but I'm assuming you're talking about like on Facebook, where like they're
it
mean
was
to
on
you.
Facebook. It was
Some
on the
people just,
MCN.
some people are just shameless. Like I don't give a fuck. She got whopper tits. Like they just
Yeah,
say that kind of shit. They just don't care. But for the most part, like yeah, people on the internet are just giant dick nozzles. Like
yeah, they kind of just were like, oh, she has to be looking for that kind of attention if she has her boobs out. And it's like, why can't she have her boobs out if she wants to without having to like deal with this shit?
calm your tits.
Like
No.
don't act like you don't have that shit underneath your shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, no, I think that's yeah. That would be that question. So, we were talking about this is the one that I thought we were going to like encroach on if we kept on talking about it. But of course, to most people, Jessica Nigri,
You agree? Yeah.
um, it seemed like she seemed to be like the big deal in like at least like mainstream cosplay. Everyone seems to know her, like that kind of thing. Like, what do you think about her? And I think you kind of answered that a little bit by saying
Yeah,
that
it's a
like you
little
like to
bit.
get her level. Like, so, like, what do you think about her as like a cosplayer?
Personally, I think she's a lovely person. She seems very nice, like very genuine.
Hmm.
And I do love her costumes. Like I know people hate on her a lot because not all of her costumes are made by her.
Hmm.
And she does state when they're not made by her, if they're given to her by like a company or
Yeah.
made for her or whatever. But when she does make costumes, people then assume instantly that she hasn't made it, which
Yeah.
isn't really fair.
It's,
When
yeah, it's a risky road to run. Like,
yeah,
it's,
exactly. Like I don't know. I think you're a cosplayer regardless if you made your costume or not. Like everyone starts somewhere.
yeah.
And I've only been doing this for like a year and a half. Like I am still acquiring my skills.
That's
Just
an
think it's
interesting,
ridiculous.
actually. That's an interesting idea. Is like, like the line between like a maker and like a person that makes the outfits and a person that's just wearing them. Like, if you went to a shop and bought like a Spider-Man suit and wore that around a convention, would you
No
get
one would say
like?
anything.
But well, maybe not nobody. But like, is the general idea that you would get more respect if you actually made it? I'm assuming that's the case. Since
Yeah, a lot of people do. Like some people don't. Like it just depends on the person, but on the bigger scale, people are more impressed, I guess, by
Mm.
that.
Yeah, well,
By
it
seeing
was
this.
just fair enough. Yeah, like
Yeah,
when you see
because
like,
like I'm definitely impressed. Like there's loads of like cosplayers that I would love to be as good as.
Mm.
In that
So
sense.
you like Jessica Nigri,
Yeah, I do.
so that's cool. Because she is also, I think, a little controversial in like everything she does is like the boobies on
Yeah.
display situation. So like I
I have
think
no problem with this. I'm
neither,
a boob
neither
girl.
do I. Neither
Sorry,
do
but
I.
like
I'm not saying that I
you're getting
do.
offended.
And yeah, like I don't know. It's like some people do though. So it's like I was wondering if you were on the side of like as somebody who is, as I think I'm gonna say, in one of the next questions. No, we'll leave that actually. So yeah, you like Jessica Gray, you think she's cool, and like her cosplays are great. Is there anything else?
Hmm?
Was there anything else? I think I cut you off before you were about to finish saying something.
Oh, no, I was just gonna go into the whole boob thing about how people instantly judge her outfits because of that, when I just don't think there's any particular reason to do that.
That's the only
Oh,
reason that I brought it up in the first place, because there is that like weird debate about like, yeah, she's great and she seems like a fun person, but like literally every outfit she does is just like,
yeah, and I just think even if she is doing it for attention, the costumes are quite, like they're pretty good.
yeah.
When you look at them, regardless of the
But she
boobs.
doesn't make them, so it doesn't matter.
This is the argument that people then throw. It's like, well, no, she has made a lot of those costumes.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of them, but most of them. And then like I'm just like, why do you hate on the boobs? Like they're just boobs. No big
That's it.
deal.
So, yeah, so that leads into the next question. So I personally take the stand that you don't just need to like show the boobs to have a good cosplay, but it still
No,
seems
no,
to
you don't have to.
it still seems to be the case a lot though. Like I know that's like because they're going for the characters, and for whatever reason, like throughout the years, like female characters in like films and comic books and games and stuff like that, they always do, like as we were joking about earlier on, they always do seem to just have the like token piece missing from the chest. Like I don't understand why, because as I said, it's not great armor considering your heart is right there. So it's not great armor in any way. But like, what are your thoughts on it? Like, what are your thoughts on the whole like?
Like the
It's
sexualization of female characters in gaming, I guess.
yeah. That wasn't yeah.
But
That's a smarter thing than I wrote. Like, than my question was. So yeah, we'll go with that. Sexualization of female characters.
um, I think it goes both ways, really. I think people overlook the fact that the guys are also made out to be big, muscular, buff guys, and those muscles don't exist. And you're looking at like you can't get muscles in that place, and the skin tight suits and stuff. So
Bat
I think when
nipples for the win.
what?
Bat nipples for the win.
Oh my god!
I will
But
never live like that. Whoever decided to put nipples on a Batman suit will never leave that there. Like that was
yeah,
just
I
a bad
saw that. I
call.
was just like, why? What are you
It's so
doing?
awkward.
Maybe
It
it's just really
looks
cold.
it looks weird. Yeah, it could be. Like he does fly around out in the open night. And Gotham's always raining. Do you ever notice that? It's always raining or thundering in Gotham. Maybe that's it. But like it looks weird a little bit when he doesn't have them, but when you see them on, it just looks ridiculous. So I
Like
guess you
those
can't really
anime
blame him.
characters, the guy anime characters don't have nipples at
Yeah,
all.
actually. But then again, in the Western world, we do the same. Like action figures never have junk. It's always just a smooth patch. Like who comes up with
God
these things?
forbid the
Where do you
child knows.
exactly? Yeah. If anything, it's more creepy. It's more like, why doesn't he have what I have? But yeah, like it's a weird thing that's just it's always been the case that like if
Girls.
they have to be like as a super, not even just girls, as you were saying, like men as well, like they have to, because they're superheroes or whatever, that they have to be like the super version of whatever they are. So men have to be super like muscly in places that don't grow muscle, and women have to be like triple D's and stuff like that. Like it's a weird thing, but it plays into cosplay, because then girls that just want to do the cosplay of the character have to, not have to, but like if they're going to do the
They
outfit,
feel the
like
need
they
on.
feel the need to do the same thing, and that causes them to get like a load of hate. I don't know, it's one of them things where it's like I guess you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, and I don't really like, you see, that's another thing I don't like in the cosplay scene, like people telling like others who don't necessarily have the body type of that character, which well close to it, because I don't think anyone could get near like even Wonder Woman's body or like
Yeah.
Harley's body. But like telling them they can't do it because they're like overweight or things like that, it just it's disgusting to me.
You have
Horrible.
another
I see it a
unrealistic
lot.
standard for women, huh?
Mm. Oh yeah, it's just horrible. Like there's lots of things online where just people dressing up as their favorite characters and just getting bashed for it, and I'm just like, it's ridiculous. Like they're just doing a character that they love. Like it's just like Halloween. It's like dressing up.
Yeah,
Like
but
what's the big deal?
to keep the good faith though, as we were saying, it's a very small minority that does that.
Yes.
By and large, everyone is very like caring and considerate and appreciative in the scene. So it's just it's with anything really. Like there is just like always going to be the like 5% of just pure idiots that are just like out there to make somebody feel bad. So
Yeah.
yeah. So next up, I think we're all kind of like mashing these together a little bit, but I wrote them down, so I'll ask them anyway. You in particular have actually made like awesome outfits. Like I've seen most of your stuff, and like you very rarely, if ever, I don't think, have gone down the road of like the boobies and the like showing off and stuff like that. Um, but like, is there a divide between the girls that take a stand of like the like essentially the boobs on display versus the non-boobs on display, or is it just like a non-issue? Is it each to their own kind of thing?
Well, I see a lot online of people kind of getting a bit elitist about it. Like girls who don't show sometimes will be like, "Oh, I don't need to do this," and you're just doing that for attention. That's where you got all your fans from. And
Yeah.
think that girl who did have her tits out, whatever, her costume was amazing, and it wasn't just boobs.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, it's
And
very ridiculous.
do the boobies on display girls look down on the not boobies, being like, oh, well, you just don't have the body to pull it? Like, does that happen? From what you're saying?
I've personally never seen it happen at all, to be honest. I'm sure it does happen. I'm sure there is people like that in the world, but I haven't seen it yet, though I have seen people be kind of elitist about not having their tits out. As if like they're taken more seriously by people against the ones who do decide to show a bit of cleavage.
Cleavage, it's a great thing. So here's a I think as well we covered a little bit, but like men tend to get overlooked or underlooked. We discussed this. We're not right people. I'm not sure if it's overlooked or underlooked, so choose whichever one you want. But men tend to get overlooked or underlooked in cosplay. And to be honest, like some of my personal favorites that I've ever seen have been some of the like the Dovahkiin stuff, or like whether it's Daedric armor or ebony armor, or even like just like villager costumes or something like that, like the male villagers and stuff like that, or Skyrim in particular. But like my all-time favorite was a guy who did the Iron Man. I think it was like the Mark IV or whatever. But like it was fully functioning. He had like a button that he could pull in his hand thing that would like raise out the helmet and stuff like that. Like it was amazing, and that was a guy doing it. So like of all the like Jessica Negris and Beatrices and everyone, all the women, my favorite of all time is a dude. So like what would your thoughts be on like male cosplayers and like their kind of role in the cosplaying world?
Yeah,
like
they're like, as you were saying before, like people don't really take as much notice almost because I don't know. They're like there's a lot
no
very
boobies.
still, no boobs.
No
So, yeah.
boobs.
I think a lot of people go out of their way, girl cosplayers more so. But I think a lot of the male cosplayers would even like some of their skills would surpass a lot of the women. Like I'm not saying that's because, you know, it's just because I know from looking at other sites and stuff, the guys would get very into the detail of making stuff, and sometimes the girls would be more into the seamstressy kind of thing, part of it, like not so much armored stuff. It'd be more actual dresses and fabric related stuff. Whereas like, I've seen weapons that guys have built and I'm just like, oh, I'm so jealous. One day. Hopefully.
And speaking of men and cosplaying, your boyfriend, he's like dabbled a bit and stuff like that. Like, how into it is he?
He wouldn't be as into it as probably me because I'm a bit obsessive. But he has done a few costumes. Like he's done like Grey from, I think it's Fairy Tale. I don't really read Fairy Tale, so I'm not sure. But Grey from Fairy Tale, and I think he's done a couple of characters from Bleach, and he did Nightwing there as well recently, which he wants to remake with armor. Though that wouldn't be necessarily his forte.
Did he do? I think I seen somewhere. Did he do Joker?
Oh, that was actually I did the makeup for that.
Was
it was like a
really
hair
good.
shoot.
That was awesome. I seen that one. I was like, dude, fair play. Because like it had all the bits and all. Like it wasn't just like a drawn on like with fucking lipstick or something like that. It had all, like,
I did that with latex. So
that was awesome.
It was like it was done for a hair photo shoot that we had to do. Like my friend Kaylee is a hairdresser and she wanted to do like Harley Quinn and Joker, and a friend of ours had actually done Harley Quinn as well, and I decided I'd do him like ripped up and kind of my own little original thing.
It was actually really cool. That must be actually a really cool thing to be able to share, like, because you're one of your main cosplays that you've done is Harley Quinn, and you have like a boyfriend that's like totally okay with like being done up as the Joker. Like that must be deadly to be able to call on him. It's like, hey, I've got a photo shoot coming up. You're getting some like lipstick put on you or whatever like that, and I have him just be like, hey, okay with it. Like that's awesome.
Oh yeah, like I want him to do the DC Universe Online Joker with me for when I want to do Harley.
Yeah.
but I want to make a prosthetic. I want to see if I can learn how to do that over the summer and take a face cast maybe,
Yeah.
and then
Get
make
like the big
prosthetic.
chin and shit, and like the eyebrows.
Yeah,
or
make
whatever.
it longer and kind of make his cheeks more pronounced and kind of more angry features.
Because I only recently tried out the original, not the original Batman, but like the original of the new generation of Batman games, Arkham City or Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum or
Yeah,
there's two. Then there's also Origin that just came out recently.
yeah, no, it was the first one of the new series, if you know what I mean. So I think it's Arkham Asylum. This like the
Arkham
first
Asylum, yeah.
cutscene is when you're like wheeling the Joker and stuff like that. That Joker is scary looking. Like Heath Ledger's in the films is like awesome looking in a different way, but like the Joker in the fucking games is all like he's got this huge chin and it's like
Yeah.
crazy looking. Like I
Oh,
think that would
you
be
should see
sick.
the new Joker from like the comics, the new 52 Joker. He's he's not as funny. Like I prefer old Joker, but this one's just scary. He's just terrifying, and his face is off now. He has it belted on around his head, like it's just hanging off.
Dude,
It's very scary.
I should look into that because Joker is actually who. What was my first experience with the Joker actually? Like when I was younger, I'm trying to think. Who would have like done older Jokers in Batman movies?
Um, like Jack Nicholson.
I think Jack Nicholson was the fun. Like he, I don't know. They kind of toned down the Joker look for the films for some reason. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, well, I know Heath Ledger signed his own makeup for that film.
Oh, really?
He went and did it himself at home, and then came into the people, like obviously, and was like, I want to do this. What do you think? And they were like, oh, this is amazing. You know, you should definitely do it. And yeah, he's looked fucking brilliant.
They
It really
do,
suited him,
really
like
look
the
good.
messy kind of look, and just he looks very demented with it.
Definitely. But it's just I couldn't help but notice that it looks crazy. He looks like a lunatic, but it's very more human looking than like the game and probably a lot of the comic book Jokers.
Yeah, because I don't think he'd have time to put on all that face paint. You know, I think he'd rush it like that.
Yeah, that was one of those tangents I thought we might have gone off.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
so yeah, that's cool. So that's did you finish up your like kind of thoughts on males in the scene? Like what would like your idea or like your thoughts on like the men in cosplaying scene? Like what would you be your
Oh,
like,
right, yeah. Well, I think men really do deserve more. Like, they just really do. Like, they're so overlooked in a sense. Like, I know so many people that are like, I know so many guys that are into cosplay. Like, and they just inspire me to do so much better in my costumes. Especially like my friends like Brian and Keen and Will. They're absolutely amazing. Like my friend Brian makes Predator suits, like proper Predator suits. They look insane, and I want to get to that level one day.
and is
They
he
deserve a lot more respect.
you were saying earlier on that about him being like a maker kind of thing. Does he wear them as well? Like does he go to the cons and stuff that he
Yeah.
makes or does he make them for other people kind of thing?
He makes them for other people and he wears them out, so he does. And I think he does like charity events and stuff like that, and he wears them out and meets people at like outside comic shops and all the rest.
Cool. That would be a sick like job or hobby to have, like to be able to do it to a really good standard. To be like,
Yeah.
I feel like going down to the comic shop and freaking some people out today. Let's put together some kind of crazy Joker costume and then just doing it and just going like, not that you could do it in a day, obviously, but like you know the idea is there. But yeah. So is there anything or like any myths about cosplay that are out there that you would have some insider knowledge on that you could dispel?
Not myths, but like misconceptions, I guess.
Yeah, that's
That like I sometimes like I went to one con last year, and people were kind of saying that hadn't really been to cons because it was a very big convention. People were just kind of going to check it out, and they weren't cosplayers, and they didn't really know what they were like in for. And they're kind of, oh, is it not like a fetish type of thing? And I was like, no. Like, we just like to dress up and kind of in our favorite characters, as our favorite characters, and figure out how to make really cool weapons and stuff. Like, I had my Harley hammer finished for that convention,
Right.
and it was like made out of plastic and wood, and it was like a old curtain rod, and oh, it took ages to make, and I had to get my dad to help me like bend it around because it was cracking the sheet of plastic. It's just insane, but yeah, like people just did not know like what they were in for. They were like, I thought it was like a sex thing, and I was like, no. Do you think I'd ruin this costume I spent all of this money on and like time making by like sex? I'm sorry, but no.
I'm sure there is now. I'm sure they're not completely wrong. I'm sure there is a certain group.
I'm sure
of
there is people out there, but
Yeah.
like the majority of cosplayers wouldn't do that.
too much time to have it ripped off. So, yes, and that would be the only one that you've come across. Like the only kind of misconception about that is just people just think it's a sex thing.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to think if I've heard of any that you might be able to.
Hmm?
No, like I hadn't got any in mind. Like when it comes to that question, I was just like maybe because it's such an underground kind of thing. Like it's not like everybody's walking down the street in a Pikachu costume. Like it's not like a mainstream thing. So I'm sure there's like people see it and have questions that aren't fetish related.
Yeah, I have people come up to me like I'm going out to get food outside of the convention, and people are like, "Oh, like what are you from?" And they'll ask you like tons of questions, not like to be like, "Oh, like look at you in your weird costume," but they'll actually be genuinely interested, and I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool! Thank you for taking an interest in me, the person in face paint and all the rest." It's really creepy.
Yeah, that's cool. Like I thought there would have been more for some reason. I can't think. I'm struggling now to think of if there's anything like that I've ever wondered. Like before I knew more about it, that I was like, why did they do that? Like,
But why?
But
Why?
why? But like I get it now. So I don't know. That's not really anything. So moving on. Who would be your favorite superhero or comic or anime character? Like overall, out of everything.
Oh, that's so hard. I think right now I'm very much so going through a Harley phase.
I would have put money on it.
Everything Harley Quinn. She's crazy, but she's also like, she's so lovable and she's smart and she's just, I love Harley Quinn. Yeah,
Harley
definitely.
Quinn. I'm trying to think who's mine. I love Iron Man, but only like from the movies. Like I love Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. So I think
Just I love Robert Downey Jr. in general.
totally gay for Robert Downey Jr. Actually, I don't know if it falls into the same vein, but Prince Oberyn from Game of Thrones. He's actually,
oh my god,
he is so
yes.
awesome and incredibly handsome.
Did you watch that episode though?
Oh, I've watched them all. I've seen them all.
Okay, because I was like in tears.
Were
like,
you in tears, bitch?
Stop!
No spoilers. No spoilers.
I'm not over this.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah, you should put a spoiler alert on that just in case.
It was pretty explosive. It was mind bending. Yeah, so yeah, Prince Oberyn or Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man for me, and for you it would be Harley Quinn. Last one, I think. Well, no, second last one. Next, what's your next big thing that you're working on? I think, if I remember correctly, you've been like fudging around with the idea of Daenerys for a long time.
Oh yeah, I had a couple of people suggest it to me because I think it's the hair.
Yeah.
More
Which
than
is also the last time I seen you. You didn't have like platinum blonde hair. You
no,
had dark
I think I had
brown
like
hair.
red or brown hair.
No, was it red? Well, the beaches I remember from college had brown hair. So I was like, I come on Facebook one day. It's like bleach blonde hair. It's like, who is this guy?
Yeah, I kind of started dyeing my hair purple, so people didn't know it was orange underneath until I got it white. Skills. But yeah. Yeah, Daenerys. I've been planning that for a while, but I keep putting it off because it's kind of, because people keep telling me I should do it. I'm like, I have to do it right.
Yeah.
So that just makes me kind of put off doing it because I really want to make a dragon. I don't just want to have the dress and an egg. I want
Speaking
to do
of which version or whatever, like which outfit of Daenerys would you go for?
Oh, there was a recent dress that she had in one of the episodes, and it was like a summery type of dress. Like I think it was like a bralette on the top and like a long flowy skirt. But I was thinking that would be perfect to wear in the summertime because in the cons it's obviously very hot. And I was like, that would be perfect for those.
Because
And
a lot of the ones, sorry, go on.
oh no, so like I just want to make sure I have my dragon done for that as well.
A lot of the ones that I've seen seem to be like Khaleesi Daenerys before she like became the queen or whatever like that. Spoiler alert of that place. But like when she was still like wearing like her fucking like desert traveling kind of gear, where it's like all like that, they seem to be, because people tend to do Daenerys and Khal Drogo together, so like they would have like she would have that kind of look like. But you'd be going for.
I need someone to be my Khal Drogo if I do that one eventually. But I do like the newer outfits. I think they're a lot more wearable, I guess, and more comfortable looking.
Khal Drogo's gonna be a hard fucking person to find. It's gonna be very difficult to find somebody that's gonna pull that off. Well, that dude is enormous. Like It's actually ridiculous. I was watching a panel actually. I think it wasn't. I'm not sure if it was at Comic-Con or something like that. But there was Khal Drogo, the guy that plays him, the guy that plays Rory McGann, the guy that plays the Hound, and Arya. Like the three of them on the panel on the stage, and there's like Khal Drogo, the Hound, and little tiny Arya. They're huge. They are really big fucking.
I think she's like 16 as well. She's like.
She's really small.
I had no clue. She looks so well like in the show. She looks so young.
Well, I was wondering actually. I started watching it back earlier on, and I started from episode 2 of season 1 because I've watched episode 1 recently enough that I remember. So I started with season 2, and she has like long hair, and that reminded me like she's been out in the wilderness for like 2 seasons now. Who's been cutting her hair? Why has she still got short hair? Like, why is that still a thing? Why is her hair not growing back in yet? Like, maybe the Hound, like, what we don't see is, like, every now and again they get behind a rock and the Hound's, like, it's so
like
pretty.
Fatherly figure.
I like it much better like this. But, yeah, so you're not actually, like, planning on Daenerys, it's just an idea.
I've been I'm planning on it, but I kind of want to wait till my sewing skills are a bit better so I can actually just make it all myself, because that's kind of my goal, because I make a lot of my props. There's like 1 or 2 that I haven't made, and like I think I'm okay in that area. Like I know I need to get better, but I'm okay enough that I can make a prop. Yeah. Whereas with the clothing side, I'm a bit more weary. So I want to be able to actually make that whole costume from scratch, because I want it to be like the one, I guess, like the one that you kind of.
And will you have to start from scratch? Will you literally have to start with like the dress material, the straps material, or the fucking strings or whatever like that? You'll have to buy each individual part and.
Yeah, you just buy the fabric, like however many meters you need, and like straps and like you said, like all the rest.
Measure twice, cut once, buy more than you need. That's one thing that I've learned from tested.com. And Adam Savage, he always says that. Measure twice, cut once, buy more than you need.
Make sure to remember that.
Yes. Because there's because it fits in so well. Because I remember doing woodwork when I was back in school, and we'd get like one piece, and that would be it. If you fucked it up, you couldn't continue. Like, so you'd have to like measure twice, cut once, and like, if I had a spare piece, I could fuck it up and go, okay, I've got another piece. I'll make sure to like make this cut smaller, whatever like that. Like, that will apply. If you've never heard that saying before, take it on board. If you think that you're going to need 1 meter of fabric, get 1.5 or 2 in case you make a mistake. Assuming you can afford it. Like, everybody's different.
Exactly.
Like yeah. But yes. So actually, that ties in strangely, nicely. One cosplay that you want to do, but that you can't for whatever reason.
It's kind of hard.
Like that would be just too difficult. Like,
I don't know, I haven't really thought of it actually, because I kind of just go off like my own skill level, or if I think I can get to that skill level, I'd be like, oh, I could probably do that. Yeah. But recently, I was looking at some of the League costumes. Like I haven't been able to start playing League of Legends properly yet because my laptop got stolen there. A couple of months back when I just downloaded it, but I remember seeing like the videos of Jinx and her weapons, and I'm like, oh, I don't think I could make that to the standard that I want.
Oh God, something happened.
Oh.
Wait, are we still good? Yeah, we're still recording. So yeah, it tabbed me out of the Skype thing. I nearly had a heart attack. Sorry. So yeah, no, League is one of the things that I hear about it, and it's one of the rare games that I literally. You might as well be speaking like ancient Hebrew. Like I don't get League at all, and I tried it because it's free to play. Like I tried it out, but it's like that's not my type of game, so I kind of tend to stay away from it. But like,
yeah,
it's one of them things where it's like I fed in the mid lane with my main while my support was doing a dual jab thing. It's like I hear all these phrases and words, and like I just don't get it. So like you're talking about what was it, Jinx?
Jinx,
and
yeah, she's a champion from the game.
Exactly,
and
a champion.
She's kind of like, pardon?
Like a champion,
She's just, that's what they're called. They're like I think there's like over 100 champions from the game that you choose or like you're given in the game. But yeah, she's one of those, and she's kind of like the Harley, I guess, of League.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
Yeah, but that's kind of because she's kind of hyperactive and a bit mad and like explosive, I guess. So yeah, I have a problem, just a little bit.
But you don't see yourself being able to do her just yet?
No, because I want to actually start playing League. I have a friend who does casting for League of Legends. Like he was over at London there recently, and he's been dying to get me into this game now for months. And I keep telling him I don't have the money for a laptop at the moment, but I will hopefully after the summer be able to get a laptop and get into League a bit more.
Wasn't it stolen at like one of the cons? I don't want to
Well,
mention the specific one because again, it's not their fault, but like that's kind of
no, it wasn't at the convention itself. It was at a hostel I was staying at. We don't necessarily know who did it, so I'm not going to point the finger. But it wasn't really handled well by the hotel either. Like they didn't really seem to care. Well, the hostel. But I just know I won't be staying at a hostel again. 'Cause I'm too afraid now to leave anything in my room.
I don't know why people continue to go to hostels after the film. I hear that word now and I just think of that film. I've never even seen the film, but I know what it's about. Like, so I know that the word
First
hostel.
time there as well. First time at a hostel, everyone was like, "Oh no, you have to do hostels. Hostels are great. Like they're so cheap." Whereas I'm usually like, "No, I need a hotel room with like a nice clean bathroom and nice comfy bed and all the rest." And they're like, "No, no, this is cheap. You can't afford to do this right now, so you have to go the cheap route." And I was like, "Okay, fine." Stay in a room with like 10 people, and only one of the laptops goes missing. I was like, "Why mine?" Everyone else's was there too.
Do you think it was somebody you were with or somebody at the hotel, hostel, whatever?
It's a possibility of both, to be honest, but I don't know. Like, depends.
That's uncool. Right, I think the last one before we get to like shout outs and stuff like that, because I have you nearly 50 minutes here, plus for all the like testing and stuff like that. So what's the one that you're planning on doing next? Like what would be your next thing that you get cracking on?
I think my next ones are panty from Panty and Stocking with garter belts. Yeah.
What even? What the fuck? Who comes up with the names for these
gonna
things?
get a reaction. It's just like, just wait for it. Just wait for it. It's
Okay.
like it's an anime, but it's kind of done in the style like of, it kind of reminds me of the Powerpuff Girls, but it's nothing like the Powerpuff Girls.
Okay.
It's about these two angels that have been cast out of heaven, and they have to like collect so many demons, I guess, their souls. And they have to, for each episode, they're going after like a different demon and all the same. But the angels are very interesting themselves. They're called Panty and Stocking. And there's also this kind of priest that goes with them called Garter Belt. But Panty is, her weapon is her underwear.
Does
takes
bra
off her
make an
underwear.
appearance?
What?
Does brassiere make an appearance and all? Like, does bra make an appearance?
No, like she's actually quite covered up, like up top, and her skirt is kind of short. That's the height of it. But she takes off her underwear and it turns into a gun. Her knickers turn into a gun. That's what she's called.
Of course. That's
And then
right.
Stocking is that she is her sock turns into a sword. But the characters are hilarious. Like Panty is kind of like the sex mad one, but she's so funny, so I have to do it. But and Stocking is more the more childish kind of one, who's like obsessed with sweets and just kind of gothic-y looking. Oh, it's such a funny show though. Like it's hilarious.
I think whoever wrote that was very, very not of this world at the time that they came up with that
It
story.
is the best. So good.
It sounds really fun, but like it's definitely, you hear that and it's just like, do you hear the words that are coming out of your mouth as you're saying this? Like her
definitely
socks
check it.
turn into a sword and her underwear turns into a gun.
Yeah.
Just cause.
And then it's all drawn kind of like the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's cool. So that's your next one. And are you working on that at the minute? I think you're A-list
I have
the
the
last
fabric bought for that, and then Adam's my boyfriend, she's gonna hopefully go through that costume with me, and show me how to make it so I can do it myself at home on my own sewing machine. And I have 3 costumes altogether, including that one I need to get done. Also, Scarlett from Killer is Dead, and she's like a nurse, and she's like a giant needle thing, and she's pretty cool.
Well.
And then I just want to get my classic Harley done, which I'm making the hammer for.
I think that may be it. We manage it. So, lastly, is there any shout-outs, like you Facebook pages or Tumblrs or friends pages or competitions you're in, or whatever like that? Like,
Excuse me. Yeah.
I had nothing prepared. Well, there's my Facebook and my YouTube and my Twitter.
Well, it probably won't be necessarily mine. It'd be like a lot of other people's. Like I mentioned a few people, I think, throughout that. Like Brian's Prop Shop on Facebook, and Man in a Can, who does Iron Man, and my friends Adess and Osato, they which is Fire Kitty Cosplay is my friend Adess's, and my friend Osato's is Osato Cosplay. She actually did Panty recently, and she had like these wings that were like that lit up, and she went around MCM like that, and she looked amazing. Looked so cool.
Awesome. So
And,
I'll get you on Facebook after this. You can send
yeah,
me the links. I'll put them in the description or like that.
cool.
Now, don't be a shy bee. Pimp yourself out. Come on. Where do people find you?
Okay, so on my cosplay page, Heartless Cosplay.
Oh my god, touche.
Shut up.
You are awesome though, because you got to like 1,000 people in like a week or two, wasn't it?
Oh god, that was by accident.
No, it was not.
Oh, it so was.
In like a
I
week, you
shared
got like
the photo.
1,000 likes or whatever like that, and you've been featured on what was the thing that you were featured on recently?
Pardon? Recently?
You were featured
Yeah.
recently on your Lollipop Chainsaw one, maybe.
Oh, is that I think that was Cosplay Worldwide.
Yeah, you
I-
were featured on that. Like that's assuming I'm assuming that's a big deal.
Yeah, Cosplay Worldwide. I think the big one was the one that I think ended up getting me people on my page was Super Cosplay Girls, SCG, on Facebook. I shared my baby doll photo, just kind of on the off chance that they would put it up. I didn't really expect anything, and then like, it was kind of like, oh, look, a few likes. Oh, shit. Where are you all coming from? Stop. That was a bit scary.
Yeah, but no, you've done really well with it. Like fucking
Oh, thank you.
for somebody that's not like pumping out stuff, like you're taking your time and working at your own pace and stuff like that. Like you're doing really well. Like everything that you do seems to get good feedback on and stuff like that. So that's really fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You were in a competition. I don't know if that's still going. Is that still going?
Oh, that's not going anymore. It just finished.
Did you win?
What?
Did you win?
Oh, I don't know who won yet. They haven't announced.
You
But
won.
No, I
You
didn't.
just won. Everybody.
Shut up.
Go like Heartless Cosplay. She won this great competition that featured
No,
Jessica
I
Knightley
didn't.
or
Don't
whatever.
listen to him.
No.
But yeah, I had a few friends that were in that competition as well, so I'm not really that competitive with it. I'm just kind of like, I hope someone I like wins.
So you're telling me that the 50 times that you shared it on Facebook wasn't...
Hey, I did it like twice.
I know, I'm joking.
Daniel.
Is there anything else? I don't think so. I think that might be it. Have you anything to add that you didn't say?
Thank you for watching this and listening to my ramblings. I don't know.
Well, no, that was cool. Yeah, so people definitely like the first link, top link in the description will be Heartless Cosplay. She's shy, but definitely go check her out. She's not shy, humble, maybe is the word. So yeah,
Bit of
definitely
both.
yeah, bit of both.
We're shy.
So yeah, go check Beatrice out at Heartless Cosplay. Her friends, you'll just send me a couple of links on Facebook, and you're not in any competition, so that's it. So thanks, Beatrice, for the wonderful insight into cosplay.
Thank you for having
Because
me.
apparently, according to you, is not a fetish thing. It's not all about sex. So
No.
if you don't know, now you know, brother. Yeah, so that's about it. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.